I do have SABC political reporter Aldrin Sempier in studio with us. Aldrin, what do you read into all of this? A lot of people pointing fingers squarely at the ANC, saying their processes and policies are the ones that are holding the country to ransom because they cannot act decisively.
I guess the big question is, why is it so difficult for the ANC to remove President Jacob Zuma? Because it's a known secret now that the ANC has decided that President Jacob Zuma must step down. But why has it been so difficult? And that's the thing that many analysts have been trying to work around, as well as journalists. We're trying to find out exactly what it is that President Jacob Zuma may have over the current leadership of the ANC.
All day.
Because the ANC has already taken a decision, and this decision would today just be re-endorsed today. What does this mean? Do we now expect President Jacob Zuma to simply now change his mind and then accept that, okay, no, it's fine now, this time around I will step down? And also the granular details about the meeting that took place between Cyril Ramaphosa and President Jacob Zuma. If there's an agreement that is set out, what is that agreement and what entails that agreement? And tell you what, we got a hold of an email that has been sent to a certain political party by a certain law firm that wants to take this matter to court and argue in court that whatever agreement that the ANC goes into with President Jacob Zuma, that would mean that President Jacob Zuma would have some sort of influence in what happens in Parliament, which they argue what happens in government, which they argue would be unconstitutional. Because if the president says, okay, it's fine, I'll step down, but the new president who comes in must retain so-and-so. Remember that according to the Constitution, it is the president's prerogative about who serves under his cabinet. So if that is forced down on the new president, that would mean that the new president's powers have been taken away, and which is something which is unconstitutional.
Look, I mean, Aldrin, let's talk about this. I mean, we've heard the conditions, the rumored conditions that he wants family protections, as you've just outlined, family protection, future legal battles that are pertaining to his term in office to be, of course, accounted for by the state and so forth. And I think the last one was he wanted to chair his last cabinet meeting on Wednesday, which really incensed Cyril Ramaphosa. I mean, looking at these, are these feasible? Are they doable? As you've just explained, in terms of the legal ones, they're not really achievable.
Yeah, in terms of the legal ones, I was actually speaking to an ANC NEC member just before the ANC January 8th celebrations in the Eastern Cape, and she said, you know what, the president has really put us in a tight spot, because there are some things which we can do and probably work around, but there are certain things that we cannot do. And Cyril Ramaphosa has been unequivocal on this, and remember, when he was in Davos, he also spoke about this, that when it comes to legal issues of justice and the jurisprudence, unfortunately, we cannot get involved in that. The justice system and the might of the law will have to take its course, and you know, we take it from there. As I understand the ministerial handbook, I understand that the president's family or close family, this is now the immediate family, they are entitled to securities, just a certain number of security. The big question is, how does it then work? Because the ministerial handbook speaks about the family that you live with. Yeah. We have a president who is in a polygamous relationship, and I'm not too sure whether all four of the first ladies live with the president in Nkandla, because that is the president's residential space. How do you work around that? And that's another conundrum that probably we need to look into. How does this work out? Because according to the Constitution, the president is protected. After all, he's practicing his cultural rights as a polygamist, and that's what he is doing. But how do you ensure that the spouses of the family of the president and the immediate family of the president also benefit from what an ordinary former president would benefit from?
Aldrin, news just in now. Of course, we saw the briefing by the opposition parties now bringing in a fresh new twist that I've been deliberating with my analysts. I want to get your view on this fresh spin of now, okay, you set the wheels in motion, remove the president, but soon after that, we want to dissolve parliament. Do you think the nation is going to rally behind that?
It's a difficult one. And it's probably opposition parties playing politics, because we need to consider that we're probably less than, what, 13, 16 months away from the elections. The elections next year. Why can't we wait up until the elections next year? And Julius Malema does have a point, that all political parties that are in Parliament have been found to have acted unconstitutionally because they form part of Parliament.
True.
And he's right that their credibility is also in question. The entire Parliament's credibility is in question, even though they may argue that the ANC has hamstrung them into making certain decisions and take a certain decision, and that decision is found by the courts to be unconstitutional. It's very difficult. And like Ronesh was saying as well, we're going into if we go to election right now, the Constitutional Court already made a ruling that said that the electoral roll as it is not constitutional. So by 2018, the end of 2018, it needs to meet constitutional muster, which has been set up by Parliament, the legislatures. And as it stands at the moment, we are not there yet.
All right, Aldrin, you know what? I hope you can come back here tomorrow and give us an answer to the question, because I've been asking this question. Why can't the ANC tell us why they can't get rid of President Jacob Zuma according to their policy? So maybe you'll have some more research.
What is it that the president has over them? That's the big one.
That is SABC political reporter Aldrin Sampear joining me here. And of course, we've been deliberating the Zegzit talk. Stay close to your television. SABC News will be bringing you all the developments. That meeting is still taking place in Irene, and as soon as that briefing of course is available to us, we'll definitely bring it to you live here. I'm Alicia Ntantajali. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay tuned.